Hey, this is Matt. Once again, what about to the videos is the paid request, this time for Seth. Thank you so much for that, and for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, what have you. Feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, I know this is not going to be a popular opinion, because I know there's quite a few people who saw this film, and they did like it, they did enjoy it. And I will say, it's not like it's a god-awful film that's poorly made. It's not the case there. It's just not my cup of tea. I've seen this film before. It's called The Burrowers. It's a Western horror film that, understandably so, wants to take itself more serious. What I mean by that is not going for the fun creature feature vibe. It's going more for a solemn, depressing take on the American West, and a bit of racism in there, and as in how things were and how people were racist to each other. Sadly, was the case. How people treated Native Americans, things of that nature. And I get what I was trying to do. It's just not a film that I'm gun ho about. It takes place in 1879 during the Dakota Territories, or I should say, in the Dakota Territories. And this family gets attacked and drugged away. Some are left there to be dead, some are missing. One of the people missing is this woman that this Irish guy, who's our lead, he was going to propose to her. So him and some others go on a journey to try to find what happened to these missing people. There's him, there's Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown's been in a lot of stuff. He was in The Bad Guy in the first Highlander movie, Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. I remember him Pet Sematary 2. No brain, no pain. Clancy Brown's been in a lot of stuff. I think he was in Blue Steel with Jamie Lee Curtis. A lot of movies. So he joins the group, and then they're joined by this other guy that, I don't know why he looked a little bit like Liam Neeson. It wasn't, and he didn't sound anything like him. But at a passing glance, I'm like, is that Liam Neeson? No. I don't know why. Maybe some people, it doesn't look anything like, I don't know. And then this, pretty much his son, or at least the son of his wife, how you want to put it. So the four of them are going to go on this journey to find out what's going on. They find these weird holes in the sort of nearby area where the people went missing. And pretty soon they start going with this army battalion led by Doug Hutchinson, who I remember, who played the bad guy Toombs and two X-Files episodes, Squeeze and Toombs. He's been in quite a few movies as well. I think he was in The Green Mile, among others. But I remember him from the X-Files episodes. He plays a very racist, piece of crap captain of this army. Complete douchebag. And the Irish guy becomes friends with the army's cook, played by Sean Patrick Thomas, who was in Save the Last Dance, and I think he was in Halloween Resurrection and other movies. And they become friendly with each other. The film is very slow. It's a very slow build. The creatures are very much kept out of sight. Probably the first time you get a decent look at the creature is maybe 50 minutes in. And the creatures, the way they look, I'm kind of 50-50 on. I think there was some practical, but there was also CG, and like the designs are, like I said, I go back and forth. Part of me didn't mind them, part of me is like, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I go back and forth on it. So the colors are very muted. The performances are not bad. It just wasn't that exciting or thrilling or scary of a story. Really, the only interest for me is, number one, liking Clancy Brown as an actor, And number two, when you find out what the gist of the creatures, what they do, there's definitely some interest there. But like I said, I thought the film was just rather dull and slow. And then it becomes very depressing and almost nihilistic. Because what happens is, spoiler alert, they do find a body, but the body's alive, this lady's alive. And the one guy tells his son, go take her so she can get some help. They realize she's been drugged. And you come find out that these creatures, they will cut you and then they spit this thing over the wound to drug you. Kind of like, remember the Serpent in the Rainbow, where you have that drug where it seems like you're dead, but you're not dead? Kind of like that, the tetrodotoxin type of thing. And these creatures will bury you alive. I guess so when you start to decompose, they'll eat you. Because creatures like them soft. Now, I mean, that's a bit interesting. That's a bit, a little bit different compared to other creature features. That just wasn't enough for me. Like I say, it does take a while for it to get going. The muted colors kind of took away from the potentially nice vistas of the Wild West cinematography. When you mute the colors that much, it's like, eh. I mean, it's not like muted to the point it look like black and white, but it's definitely a dulled down color scheme. You don't get to know a whole lot about the characters. Pretty much the lead guy, he's wanted to propose. Pretty much it. You maybe get to know a little bit about the cook, Sean Patrick Thomas's character, and the way the army guys treated him. And that's why when the four decide to, before they find the girl, they decide to leave the army guys. The cook follows them and wants to join them, so it becomes a team of 5. Super spoilers, I didn't like the way they dealt with Clancy Brown's character. I get it was meant to be a surprise, but he doesn't even find out about the creatures or get killed by the creatures. He's literally, they're riding off and he gets shot in the neck by a Native American. And he's dying dead of his wounds. And then a Native American comes up and bashes his face off. I think Clancy Brown's pretty much dead. So he bashes the face, and decent makeup effect, I'll give you that. Pretty decent gory makeup effect. Probably I would say the goriest part of the movie. And like I said, by that point the kid is supposed to be taking the lady to safety, but the kid for some reason stops, puts her on the ground, tries to kiss her, is ready to do stuff to her, but then she's like, oh, you're still conscious. I'm like, no shit, isn't that what we established earlier on? That she was still alive and conscious? And then they decide to stay there, and then this kid's so fucking stupid, doesn't get a move on, so his ass becomes grass. Not only him, but the lady fucking dies as well. And then his ass becomes grass. That's what you did, you stupid fucking dickhead. Good. Bury his ass. Sure, buried his ass this way. His head all the way down. And then jam his head up his ass. Fucking idiot. Puke on him some more. Because he gets the venom and then he can't move and then they bury him. Good. So the last 3, they go Sean Patrick Thomas, the Irish guy, and the guy that for some reason I kept calling Liam Neeson. I don't know why. They wander about. They found out a bit from this Native American woman what these creatures are. That they used to eat the buffalo, but when the buffalo deteriorated, then they found human flesh and what they do. And that this specific group of Native Americans came up with this drug that could help poison and drug the creatures. Of course, these 3 want to find out what that is. By this point, the guy kept calling Liam Neeson. They were attacked and he got drugged, so he's feeling the effects of it. He's so drugged out, he even accidentally shoots Sean Patrick Thomas's leg. The Irish guy stays behind because the one guy gets taken by some Native Americans. The Irish guy follows to this little bit in the woods where the guy's being used as bait, and I guess they have put some more stuff in him so that when the creatures start eating him, they get drugged. Our Irish guy, he tries to beat and stab a few of them after accidentally stepping on a bear trap. Pretty much they all get knocked out, and the sun comes up, and apparently the sun will kill the creatures. But the drugs needed that the Native Americans put into this guy that they use as bait so that the creature could eat it and get drugged and knocked out until the sun comes up. So the guy takes one of the Native Americans back, wants hope to get the info as to what this poison is, this drug is. So the guy goes for help. He comes across the army guys, and by the time he comes across the army guys, they hunt the two Native Americans, the lady and the guy. They tried to cut off the Sean Patrick Thomas's leg, and apparently he died of his wounds. And Dud Hutchinson is being cocky, and all those Native Americans, we'll make sure they won't do this again. And the Irish guy just stands there dumbfounded, not sure what to do, because the woman he was looking for is dead. Everybody else is dead. The Native Americans that had the poison name, they're dead. This guy became friends. Sean Patrick Thomas is dead. So, yeah, they killed the black guy. And he's just standing there dumbfounded. And then cut to apparently the creatures. Well, not apparently, of course. The creature's still out there going to continue to kill. And the movie's over. And a song plays, something about horses. And no, not Goodbye Horses. The different song. So again, it's a very depressing, downbeat ending. That I'm sure I get why. It's about the idiotic ways of the army and their racism, their treatment of Native Americans, and the way the white men came in and killed the buffalo and then killed the same Native Americans that would help them, and now it's going to lead to their own doom. And the harshness of the American West. Again, as a creature feature, you barely get to see the creatures. When you do, there's kind of interesting motif. The designs, again, I'm 50-50 on it. The acting wasn't bad. The characters, I don't know, pretty indifferent on. The ending, I thought sucked, but that's a matter of taste. And I'm not a big Western guy. Don't get me wrong, I like Young Guns, I like High Plains Drifter, I like the Man with No Name trilogy, I liked Rio Bravo. There are Westerns I like, but I'm not like a gun-ho Western guy. Western horror films, it's not a ton of them out there. I like the Ghost Town from the 80s. I liked that. Some say From Dusk Till Dawn in a way. But like actual, like 1800s kind of horror. I guess there's Tremors 4. I probably would rather watch Tremors 4 than this. Just Tremors 4, it's just a matter of taste. Tremors 4 is a lot less depressing. Like I say, if you like the kind of stuff, then this is the stuff you like, and you'll like this more than me. This just wasn't my cup of tea. Like I said, I just found it pretty tedious and boring. I thought Clancy Brown wasn't used as much as I would like to have seen him used. I thought the characters, like I said, the acting wasn't bad. The characters, meh, indifferent on them. And I appreciate what the director was trying to do. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But it'll be, there are a decent amount of people that like this film, so maybe your cup of tea, just not for me. For one, for one, Creatures Under the Ground, I'll watch and rewatch Tremors. What can I say? I'll just rewatch Tremors. So with that, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.